Welcome to episode 1488 of the Multifamily Collective. Today, I wanted to, by the way, it was 102 in Atlanta today, in parts of Atlanta, and feels like temperature of like 104, 105. And I know it was hotter than that in some areas of the country, but this guy, not a fan of that kind of heat, and especially with that kind of humidity back of that heat. It's not fun. So now I'm staring out the window at a giant thunderstorm. Not the point of the Multifamily Collective this evening, but I wanted to resurrect something that I've talked about in the past, and that is the disruption to the multifamily business model. And I want to put a little more clarity around that. I know the way I've talked about that in the past has been limited to the business hierarchy, the traditional hierarchy that governs the multifamily space, that governs many institutions across this great country. But I think what is underpinning or driving the change in the traditional business model or governance model of a business is the disruption to the multifamily business model itself. So that is to say that technology, the way that technology is making its way into the space, whether you're talking about CRM systems or PMS systems or whatever the tech stack might be, or the introduction of things like AI assistance or AI driven technologies or platforms rather in the space will really disrupt the way we do a business model. And the combination of people and technology, what is the right ratio? What is the right blend of those two things to govern a property management business? But then higher up, right, there's this traditional hierarchy that sits in place with, a COO in my case, and then you have some uh, senior vice presidents, directors, and other areas where there's this just traditional hierarchy that ladders up. Well, when you disrupt the very bottom of that business model, I think you disrupt by default this middle layer business model. And in my head, you almost put the entire thing at risk. There is a day coming that I think that entire hierarchy structure, traditional hierarchy structure, is going to be disrupted by this disruption that's going on downstream. And most of that will be driven by automation and centralization and certainly outsourcing or elimination of things that you don't need to do anymore in our business at all, because these other things, when you solve one issue with automation, you sort of solve six issues potentially that you otherwise would have had infrastructure in place to solve. Now you just get it done with one thing, which solves a bunch of problems and eliminates a lot of processes or procedures and things of that nature. So I know I'm talking or speaking conceptually, but I think you're going to start to see the early innings of those changes, those concepts, those philosophies coming to be true in the way of use cases in the multifamily space. And I think it's going to be driven by those disruptions happening in other spaces. And we're going to look at those roadmaps and we're going to make application of them here in the multifamily space. So just please know I'm going to start talking more frequently about that. I'm going to start looking at other organizations that are disrupting traditional hierarchy right now, as driven by, the ground level changes that are taking place. So anyway, love to hear your thoughts on the topic. I think there is a lot to discuss here. There is a lot that is evolving, and it is happening at a very rapid pace now. So stay tuned. Talk to you again. Bye.